London Tech Week. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're doing for IBM here?
Right, so IBM has tried to showcase today all of the different capabilities that we have in terms of AI and data. We have different stands all across the floor. We have a stand where we showcase computer vision and how it can be used for matches, for example. We've had different types of examples in the past where we used it for tennis, for example, to show performance and show extra data to the viewers. We have another stand where we do a walkthrough of all of the different capabilities of large language models, such as summarization or sentiment analysis. Now we can help companies and clients. And then we also have another stand where we just talk broadly about all of our different offerings, and especially on the data side. So one of the biggest challenges that we're seeing is that large language models, when they have to be implemented, they usually require a lot of data and a lot of compute. And this is not simple, especially for companies that are smaller. And if you go, for example, and you just get a large language model that has been trained on all of the data that's available out there, you may have a model that can have a lot of responses that are not ethical, or you can also find hate speech, for example, or racism, because if you take all of the data from the internet, you can find also a lot of negative text and negative comments in general. So what we're doing at IBM, we're focusing a lot on governance. So the idea is we train our own large language models, for example, Granite, where we use data that has been curated, so that we ensure that in terms of ethical and then just hate speech, and also in terms of just regularization and legal work. It's all, it doesn't use any copyright material, anything the like. And so we make sure that the outputs that the models give are actually proper from a business point of view, because nowadays we're seeing from a lot of different countries a lot of different frameworks for AI in terms of how they can be regulated and how the models should behave and how they have to perform. And so we ensure that not only for our models, so Granite, but also for models from other companies, we can offer a framework that can measure the drift and how all of these answers compare when it comes to, as I mentioned, hate speech or racism or anything that may not be proper for any type of business. We've seen stories for the last few months where they use large language models that were simply implemented without any type of feedback loops. So we focus a lot on making sure that our systems do have a lot of feedback loops in place, and also to make sure that they cannot be jailbroken, which is what happens a lot lately.
And if we look into the future, what do you think the future of AI looks like for corporations?
So I think at the moment, the way we see the future is trying to have people work together with AI. A good example that we've seen lately is AI used for coding. So we have pair programming, where usually 2 or more people work together on a project and they kind of help each other and they have ideas that bounce off different people. Lately, we've been seeing people doing that with AI assistants. So this is the kind of future that I envision where we don't remove the human element, but rather we help humans so that they can get more done in a shorter amount of time. And that's all stuff that's more interesting. So if you, in coding, if you just want to have the boilerplate code, it can be generated automatically. For people that work in HR or, for example, for customer support, they can have systems that automatically search multiple documents and they just give you the exact output that you need in order to help your customers, so that people can be focused on things that we can actually help with and that require our creativity instead of all of the simpler stuff that can be done automatically with AI. So that's the kind of trajectory that we're.
That's brilliant. Cyprian, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
This is my 3rd year.
And
I've always had the opportunity to learn about what's going on and what trends to watch out for, especially for my business. And I also sort of get answers to some sort of like thinking, some sort of ideas that I'm working on. So originally, we sort of like supply the talent pipeline for the UK market, and that is what we do. Until recently, when we realized that it's not just about trying to train the talent in a market where you have very high quality talent already. It is now about really listening to this market and then trying to serve them in a way that actually meets their need, which is just landing a role. So now we're building more relationships with employers, such that we want to also hear their own part of it. Say, what exactly is the problem? Why are you not giving this much talent a gap? And then the average time for recruiting also is a problem. So people go for multiple multi-steps interviews, which I think are needless.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking how to bridge that gap. And so the first approach for us is we are asking these employers to say, can you give us some of the challenges you work on every day?
Yeah.
And we'll hand it over to this guy who are interested in working with you. They solve the problem. If you're satisfied with that, then that can be a very good starting point. So you can then look at the pool and pick up from that pool,
So,
like a matchmaker.
Keyless is a biometric authentication company. Ultimately, the problem that we're trying to solve here, what we're trying to do is prove identity. More so than passwords, more so than an SMS text or a hard token. We are trying to prove that you are you every time you authenticate. The main challenge that customers are facing at the moment is being sure that the person that's trying to access a service is the person that originally signed up. And facial recognition technology is pretty much the most surefire way of proving this.
and if we look ahead, what are the big trends, hot topics, predictions that you're seeing in the industry right now?
I mean, the big one on the top of everybody's tongue is definitely AI, so generative AI. Last year, really big trend was passwordless. Everybody was saying, you know, we need to get rid of passwords. We need to make sure that, you know, no one ever uses a password again. And actually what we found is that sort of we're now coming to a stage where we're realizing there's always going to be a relationship with passwords, you know, with sort of traditional forms of authentication, where there are some situations in which they're needed and other situations in which they're not. So that's a real shift that we've noticed just from 2023 to this year.
Fantastic. Alex, it's really great to meet you today.
Yes, you too. Well,
Cheers.
Brilliant. Thank you.
But really drive economic growth and really start shaping the future of our industries and the businesses that we work in today.
What was your inspiration, excuse the pun, your light bulb moment behind your business?
So our founder, Alan, he was actually installing infrastructure in rural parts of South Africa, and he kept on coming back and seeing that the labs that had been installed, the equipment was desperate.
Yeah.
They weren't being underutilized, if not utilized at all.
Yeah.
Talking to various people in the local community, we found that actually there were no services bundled with, and people just did not know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So Lightbulb was formed purely based on filling that need, to create a service that could be added to this infrastructure being deployed and have a positive value on the community. And given his background, education was a core part of it. Being able to help people bridge the gap between developing their skills and getting a job is the basis of life.
And can you tell me a little bit more about your customers?
Our customers are typically corporates who have a passion towards upskilling individuals.
Yeah.
We work with foundations and CSI teams to upskill students and the youth, giving them, helping them in terms of their education, as well as helping develop skills that would be relevant for the job market. We work with corporates who are looking to upskill their employees or contractors that work at their plants. And we also help them in terms of upskilling their local community.
Great to see you at London Tech Week.
Good to see you again, Will.
It's a good sort of chance meeting. We bumped into each other. It's nice that we attend sort of similar things. What made you decide to attend today? What was the inspiration?
Well, London Tech Week is obviously the flagship week to bring together, to cultivate and drive innovation, bring fintechs together. Today is also a special day for AI and partners. We've released our report on e-React's impact on the fintech industry in collaboration with our range of partners, including AI 2030, a prominent Washington-based think tank, to ensure that the industry knows exactly what the imminent e-React is going to impact fintech. So everyone here can have assurances and reassurance that they know how to navigate in this new regulatory landscape.
And you've told me that there's a white paper that you created. It's available online for people to digest and read.
Free to consume, with an associated presentation. It covers all the necessary bits. A few quotes from people, and it gives you that sort of that clarity and transparency that the market's missing.
For anyone who's watching that isn't sort of particularly an expert on the AI Act and what's coming into effect. Can you just give me a quick sort of overview?
It's a risk-based regulation of AI systems. The higher the risk, the more compliance requirements apply. To a certain extent, some systems are prohibited. So in the same way you have KYC for AML, you have KYAI for AI systems.
What's your role within that? What part do you play? What solution are you bringing to this?
So the business covers a range of things, but predominantly compliance software. So we've got a platform called Authorus, which of the many things it does, it identifies any AI system you either have hosted in your cloud, so our partners IBM, we scan their infrastructure, or on-prem private environments.
Yeah.
We scan it, inventory it, and allow our clients or any third party to do the assessment and print out the risk report per system, model, or algorithm.
Fantastic. How long has your business been running for?
We're doing it for over 3.5 years, and the inspiration behind this was GDPR. So my business partner, the founder and CEO of AI Partner, Sean, did this for GDPR as a tech accountant in the Netherlands, and he saw this opportunity, so he couldn't believe his eyes when he saw the proposal. He saw this, when it hits the market, this will be fundamental, it will be game changing. We're now seeing that today. We are now seeing the inception and the embryonic stages of the most impactful regulation since GDPR.
And what does it mean for the corporations that perhaps don't get on the front foot, they don't take this seriously? What are some of the ramifications for those businesses?
There are quite a few, I'd say predominantly monetary aspects. So, for example, prohibitions of Article 5, prohibited systems, 35 million euros or 7% of global annual turnover, or significant loss of reputation and regulatory capital. So investors, for example, they may lose their investment or their assets may be sanctioned, and they could lose. They need to use the regulations as a way to de-risk. And of course, as we move in this new regulatory landscape, we're seeing quite a lot of enforcement being quite aggressive. For example, the Digital Services Act, which came into force this year, there have already been 2 high-profile cases brought by the European Commission. So we envisage an even stricter, more robust regime being brought under this regulation.
And where can people find the information, the white paper? Is it online on your website?
It's on our website, but it's also on our LinkedIn, which we update daily. And we're always open for any comments or questions people have. They can always get in contact. And we're delighted to work with a range of corporate partners, including think tanks, universities, legal firms, professional services. You know, it's been part of a growing community. And so this ecosystem is in its nascent stages, and it's fantastic to be part of.
That's amazing. And if we can finish on trends, going around the conference, what sort of things are standing out for you? I've seen a bit on AI, machine learning, security. What stands out for you?
There's many frontier technologies are all intersected. You've got IoT, you've got quantum, you've got other aspects here. I think maturation, consolidation, I think we're moving to that next level of people are wanting to have more reliance on safety and security, not have to worry about things which should already be handled. They want to move to the next step, more forward thinking, strategic. So I'd say broad level, consolidation, and being part of a more mature marketplace.
Absolutely. And it's quite nice to see here that there's a mix of tech firms, service providers, even government institutions that are becoming involved. They're realizing the potential of that startup and scale-up network.
To be honest, I've never seen something like as many firms concentrated. You've got people from Qatar, you've got various startup ecosystems from APAC regions like Nepal, or spoke with some very prominent figures from Sri Lanka. So it's unique that you have so many people here, and if we can't build or cultivate an ecosystem here, facilitated by you guys, of course, I don't know what we can do, because everything you need is here.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate your time.